Okay, we're here with 3 students from different universities in the UK, and they're just going to tell us who they are and where they're from exactly, the different universities, and a little bit more on what they do here in Nevis.
Okay, I'm Selena. I'm from Royal Holloway University of London, and I'm doing a PhD at the moment.
Okay.
I'm Sam Turvey. I'm a research fellow at the Zoological Society of London.
I'm Ben, and I'm a master's student at the Royal Veterinary College in London.
Okay, we've learned that you're here in Nevis for a while. Like, how long have you been here for exactly?
We've been here for 2 weeks,
Okay.
and yeah, we're here just for a short period, but Ben's here for a lot longer.
Okay, and what exactly are you studying?
We're looking to see if there's any evidence that any native land mammals survive on Nevis, because across all the islands of the Windward and Leeward chain, there were endemic rodents. So some species like mice and rats, but they were found only on these islands. And some of them were rat-sized, some of them got to the size of cats, and each island had its own population or own species. And it's thought that most or all of these mammals are now extinct, probably because of the introduction of rats by Europeans or the introduction of mongoose about 120 years ago. But there's been suggestions that there might be a surviving population of native mammals here on Nevis, so that's what we were looking for.
Okay, what have you found so far?
We haven't found any evidence that this mystery rodent still survives. We've found a lot of mongoose and a lot of introduced rats, both in habitats at kind of mid-elevation up the mountain, but also even quite high elevation up to about 750 metres, which is the highest we've trapped at so far. So getting right up through the tropical forest up into the elfin woodland, there's still mongoose and introduced rats there, which is a really bad sign, because generally you won't get native mammals coexisting with those introduced competitors and predators.
And a project or a study like this, how long does it usually take, and how long are you here for?
This is a good question. We're hoping to get about 750 or 800 trap nights, which means the number of traps we've brought trapping per night, so the equivalent of having one trap trapping for 2 years, also continuously, which is quite a lot of effort. But then it depends that different species might be more or less inclined to go into traps in different habitats. So it's not an exact science, but basically the more trapping effort you get in, the more likelihood you'll have of finding the animal if it's there.
Okay. And could you just give us a brief importance on exactly why we need to track down these mammals or species, different species?
Sure. Well, island species are really important for biodiversity because generally they're only found on a single island, and also they're very vulnerable to human impact because on Nevis and on other islands they'll evolve without any native mammal predators. So if people come along and introduce cats and rats and dogs and mongooses, then all the native species generally disappear. And if this mammal does exist, it would be the only native land mammal anywhere in the Lesser Antilles, so it's of extreme biological importance and importance of biodiversity. So although it's not looking very likely at the moment the animal actually exists anymore, it's important to have studies like this here on other islands to try and identify whether species survive and to flag up the importance of biodiversity conservation on islands.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's just about it. And we'll be happy if you have any more research doing here in Nevis. Just talk with us for a little bit and update us on what you're doing exactly. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Okay, that's it.